Right then, picture this. You got the most expensive airline in the world, Air France, taking off from Heathrow to Paris 3 days running. Premium seats, champagne service, the works. But here's the kicker. They're flying completely empty of the one thing they were supposed to be carrying, deportees. It's like ordering a Ferrari to deliver your shopping, and it turns up without wheels. Welcome to Keir Starmer's immigration masterclass. Folks, where the only thing getting deported is common sense. And if you thought that was mental, wait until you hear what happened when one migrant decided to play the ultimate trump card just hours before his flight. This is a story of how Britain's toughest new deportation deal turned into the political equivalent of a Three Stooges sketch, and why Shabana Mahmood is probably updating her CV as we speak. Now, let's rewind to August, shall we? Picture a young Eritrean lad whose mum just coughed up $1,000 to smugglers. That's more than most people spend on their summer holidays, to get him across the channel in a glorified rubber dinghy. He rocks up on Dover Beach on August 12th, probably thinking, right, I've made it. Little did he know he'd become the star of Britain's most expensive game of political ping-pong. The Home Office, bless their cotton socks, sit him down the very next day for his asylum screening interview. Standard procedure, clipboard in hand. They ask, have you been exploited? His answer? A crystal clear no. Simple as that. Case closed, you'd think. File it under straightforward deportation and crack on with the paperwork. But here's where our story takes a turn that would make a soap opera writer weep with envy. Fast forward a few days, and suddenly our friend has an epiphany worthy of Damascus Road. He is now claiming he was a victim of modern slavery in Libya. It's like claiming you're lactose intolerant after you've already finished a cheesecake. Technically possible, but the timing's a bit Sue's, isn't it? Now, this is where Keir Starmer's grand plan starts unraveling faster than a cheap jumper in a washing machine. The High Court steps in on Tuesday night, literally hours before the deportation flight, and blocks the whole operation. One judge, one case, one last-minute claim, and Britain's entire deportation strategy goes up in smoke like Guy Fawkes' gunpowder plot. But wait, there's more. While we can't send anyone out, guess what's happening this weekend? We might be welcoming 50 new arrivals from France. That's right, it's shaping up to be a 50-in, 0-out situation. It's like running a hotel where you can check in but never check out, except the government's footing the bill, and the taxpayers are getting mugged in broad daylight. Shadow Home Secretary Chris Philp absolutely lost his marbles over this, and frankly, can you blame him? He's been warning about this exact scenario for months like some sort of political Nostradamus. His verdict? Labour planned to let 95% of illegal immigrants stay and remove just 5%, but they can't even manage that pathetic target. It's like setting the bar so low you need a submarine to find it, then somehow still managing to trip over it. And here's the beautiful irony. Shabana Mahmood is now ordering a review into modern slavery laws because, shock horror, they might be getting exploited by migrants. Who could have seen that coming? It's like discovering water is wet or that politicians make promises they can't keep. Revolutionary stuff, really. But the real kicker comes from former Home Secretary James Cleverly, who delivered what might be the political burn of the year. He said Starmer's 1-in, 1-out asylum scheme is looking more like a 50-in, 0-out scheme, and that Starmer is clueless, arrogant, and useless. That's not political commentary. That's a character assassination with surgical precision. Now, let's talk about the economics of this farce for a hot minute. Migration Watch has done the maths. And since 2018, we've had 181,329 asylum seekers cross the channel. That's more people than our entire armed forces combined, Army, Navy, Marines, and IAF. We've essentially imported a small army of asylum seekers while our actual army could fit in Wembley Stadium with room for the corporate boxes. Meanwhile, left-wing charities are working overtime like it's Black Friday at John Lewis, frantically providing migrants with lawyers faster than you can say human rights claim. Care for Calais is literally crowdfunding legal representation, turning deportation prevention into a charity drive. They're out here tweeting supporters to email Air France and chip in for more casework hours. It's like a GoFundMe page, but instead of helping someone's medical bills, they are helping people avoid French citizenship. And where's our beloved Prime Minister in all this chaos? Well, Keir Starmer has gone from a man who was going to smash the gangs to the man whose own policy got smashed by a single human rights claim. He cancelled the Rwanda scheme, the only deterrent we had, faster than you can say International Court of Justice, and now is discovering that good intentions don't stop rubber dinghies. The government's now pinning all their hopes on upstream work and bolstering ties with EU countries. That's political speak for we haven't got a clue, but we're hoping something magical happens if we use enough buzzwords. It's like trying to stop a flood with a colander, technically water-related, but utterly useless when push comes to shove. Technology Secretary Liz Kendall tried to downplay the whole debacle on Times Radio, saying it's just one person and won't undermine the fundamental basis of the deal. One person. As if immigration law operates like a loyalty card scheme where you need to collect 10 failures before your policy gets invalidated. That one person has just demonstrated that Britain's entire deportation system can be derailed by a well-timed human rights claim and a judge with conscience. Mr. Justice Sheldon, the judge who made the ruling, basically said there's a serious issue to be tried regarding the trafficking claim and whether the Home Secretary did her homework properly. In layman's terms, that's judicial speak for you lot haven't got a clue what you're doing, and I'm not letting you wing it with someone's life. Here's what's really mental about this whole situation. We're living in a country where it's easier to get a lawyer to prevent your deportation than it is to get a GP appointment. The same system that takes months to process a passport application can somehow mobilize human rights lawyers faster than emergency services respond to a 999 call. And let's be brutally honest about what this means for Shabana Mahmood's political future. She's gone from being the woman who was going to fix immigration to being the woman who can't even organize a deportation. That's not exactly the kind of legacy that gets you promoted in the next reshuffle. She's promising to fight vexatious, last-minute claims at every step, but she's already lost the first battle before the war properly started. The opposition is having an absolute field day with this, and you can hardly blame them. When your flagship policy falls apart on day one because of something everyone saw coming except you, it's like walking into a glass door that's clearly marked "glass door" in capital letters. The embarrassment is self-inflicted and entirely avoidable. What makes this even more painful is that we're essentially running an expensive game of human carousel. Migrants come in by boat. We house them, feed them, provide legal representation, process their claims, and then when it's time for the ones who don't qualify to leave, we discover our deportation system has more holes than Swiss cheese. It's like running a nightclub with a strict door policy but no exit strategy. So there you have it. Britain's immigration policy in 2025, all the expense of a 5-star hotel with all the effectiveness of a chocolate teapot. We've managed to create a system where coming to Britain illegally is easier than leaving legally, and where a single human rights claim can ground an entire government policy faster than fog at Heathrow. The real question now is whether this is a temporary hiccup or a sign of things to come. If one Eritrean migrant with a well-timed trafficking claim can bring down the government's entire deportation strategy, what happens when word gets out to the camps in Calais? We might just have created the world's most expensive advertising campaign for illegal immigration. Britain, where your deportation flight might get cancelled due to paperwork. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to subscribe to UK Secrets for more political chaos that makes reality TV look boring by comparison.